What's up, everyone? Speedy here. Welcome to this 1v1 video. Cover the shot. Watch for the 50 setup. Nice. Not a bad start. Get on the board. There, it's just making the opponent awkward because I noticed that they kind of stopped. Even if they're facing a decent direction, they were still kind of stopped for just a moment, and that's long enough to matter. Good positioning. It's gonna be a little awkward here. That's what you get for being overly aggressive, bro. That was a pretty obvious bump attempt. Like, oops. Telling you, backflip flick, bro. That flick is just diabolically useful. You can do some really funny things when you catch people off guard. Especially if you're annoying and don't chow right away. I actually could have shot that. That's a great shot. Great bump, and then great shot. Nicely done. I could tell the opponent was wanting to go for the boost there, and then as soon as he sees that I'm kind of going for the bump, he didn't really have time to position better. Yeah, it's just a bad kickoff there. I think I was a side flip there, unfortunately. Just didn't get there fast enough. Fake here. It's not gonna have a lot of boost. Here, just kind of go out to in. That's precisely why. And opponent's not able to get there in time. So a really key thing is if you notice your opponent is going for like a wall to air dribble or like a wall to air pop, GG, okay, that's gonna be a pretty short game. Not bad. If they're going for like a wall to air pop like that, recognize where they're going and don't try to stay under it, but kind of cut around like I did there and going like in to out, and makes it a lot safer. So here we are in game number 2. And why? Let's pop here. That's pretty bad. What I could have done is, if I wanted to go for a single jump 50, there are better ways to go about it, because like seeing that he's going to chow there, the way I kind of turned my car into it was pretty poor. Nice. I've got plenty of boost to work with here. Nice. Should just be free. Yeah, opponent. I don't know why he's going for my corner, dude. That is insanely disrespectful to go for the corner there when there is a clearly open net. That's the last thing you want to be doing. Nice, good kickoff win. It's a great save. I actually didn't think that was gonna float that way. Thought that was going faster than it was. It's unfortunate. Should have been on target. It's 4. Yeah, that whole sequence was really stupid to me. Like, just poor commitments multiple times in a row. 2 mistakes that led to that, so that's not something I want to have repeat itself. And he gets boost. It's so fucking annoying, dude. This happens to front flip, and somehow the front flip is faster. Lots of game left. Unfortunate game. Nice. Now I know the opponent's going to early chow that. I can continue to do that, and I can backflip flick it, knowing that they're going to early chow. So that's good to know. I played that poorly, but he played that worse. That was not the place to go for that. That's also really risky for me to try to go for a wave dash that high up. Just gonna get that mid boost, that's fine. I cannot commit to that corner there, that's pretty risky. Super obvious that he's going there. Good defense. Play off the backboard here. He's going to be a low boost. He's not going to have a lot to work with, so I just need to be patient here. It's fake here. It's a really good play, just not enough boost to make it work. Look for a miss. Should just be in. Or not, it's gonna post out. Gotta love it. Gotta love it posting out. That was really unfortunate. GG. Okay, so we're doing a third game this video, because that first game was so short. I guess rewarded for that. Okay. Fair enough. Goal there is just to trip the opponent up. And gets again rewarded for aggressive play. Goes for the bump play and then forces me wide. That's smart. Exactly what I want. Just honestly, don't shoot directly at net, but shoot it high. Like there, my goal was to try to backboard it, to see if I can get him to probe. Kind of go for it. Nice try, buddy. Not gonna work on me a second time. I don't understand how this guy gets so much speed off of that, like, and how? Like, what the fuck did he do to get, like, that much speed out of the kickoff there? I don't understand. Yeah, it's so boring going against fake kickoffs constantly. Oh, you have dribbled up. Okay, dude. Fair enough. There, it's important you get the bump on him so you can kind of cut his momentum a little bit. I'm just going to play a lot of cringe strats. I thought he was going to do something there. Grab this pad lane. That's why. Grab the pad lane and put yourself in a position where you can put pressure on the play. So as soon as like I turn there, I'm putting myself in a spot where that separation there makes it easier for me to kind of go for a challenge. I'll lose the game because of kickoff shenanigans, or me just losing because of side flipping. Side flipping, my favorite thing in the world to do when I don't want to be doing it. Jesus Christ. People like this are the worst. It's just super, super boring to go against. Like, it's just a very boring playstyle, doing the same strat over and over again. It's like, okay, he's gonna fake kickoff on that. He's gonna somehow get fucking possession every play, dude. I don't get it. How? I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand. How is he getting fucking possession every single goddamn kickoff? What is he doing? It is so frustrating. God, it's so annoying as a player. Like, that's brutal. It's a good shot, but it's brutal, dude. Ones is brutal because of that. You go against a lot of underranked people, and you're kind of forced to kind of like that. Like, it's how many times, dude? Like, that's the 5th time you fucking done a fake kickoff there, and it's pretty fucking obvious that you're going for it. It's actually the sweatiest games, dude. I hope you guys are seeing that this is like the sweatiest few games here. It's like just constant kickoff strats. This whole video has been kickoff strats. It's like, geez, dude. Too much space, Speedy. Come on, you're better than that. Obviously, he's just going to delay and fake. And you fake. Dude, you're the worst. Actually the worst person. Yeah, you deserve to get scored on. You 100% deserve to get scored on, dude. Sorry, guys. I can definitely tell you it was really frustrating going against that guy there. It's just the constant kickoff strats, and he absolutely deserved to get scored on there. It was just boring going against the same kickoff cheese. This guy, though, let's kind of learn a little bit about how we can improve our kickoff. One of the things we want to be careful about is when somebody goes for, like, a mistake, or not even goes for the mistake, just makes a mistake. Stay with the normal path. I try to make a late cut there and then power slide cut it right to kind of shoot it. I was just like bad positioning. And then of course this guy is just going for 200 resets because, you know, it's Diamond 2 and he wants to show off his mechanics that he's been practicing for 1,000 hours. So one of the things you want to be careful about is just like if he's gonna do those mechanics, give them space. One of the things you don't want to do is this right here. So this is a big mistake. In terms of positioning, it's okay to be dribbling it, moving it forward. Add cuts here, or instead of going for the bump play, like just read the opponent. If you're wanting to go for a bump, don't try to predict what the opponent's doing so much, but force the opponent to react a certain way, then predict based off the reaction. If they're not doing anything, play off of that not doing anything. So like here, it would have been better to just stay grounded there and go for a ground bump there. I was supersonic anyways, and I'd have been totally fine. Like right here, I was supersonic, and I easily, if I stayed grounded there, I could have just bumped him. Or as soon as he jumps, then tilt my car up a little bit and then get an easy bump there. Because I went high there thinking he would have gone somewhere. He ends up getting a freebie there. So going into this next play, one of the difficult things is having to shadow this particular play. One of the things you want to do is if the opponent has a lot more momentum into that play, you want to be kind of shadowing with more speed. I was shadowing a little too slowly here. So here, giving too much speed. So like at that point here, I need to already be either up or I need to stay grounded, let him try to go high, and then force it even higher by getting a 50 above crossbar. That should have been a goal there, but that's just an example of like what to improve. Of course, opponents in this skill range are typically very aggressive. That's their play style. They just like to ego challenge everything. That's a good save here. You just want to kind of essentially stay in the flow of how the ball is moving. It would just be a cognizant player. Be aware of your opponent again, doing the same thing as always, like most people do. Super aggressive, don't really have any like brain cells being activated with that play. They're just gonna go, they're not gonna think. Here, if I was a little bit more to the left, I actually would have had a pretty good shot here, but just didn't give myself time there. Fortunately, get boost taken and end up getting another goal scored on me though. So these are things that, like, when you start to get annoyed by the way people play, recognize where the annoyance is coming from and then make adjustments here. So like, again, if you're finding yourself frustrated like I did today, see why. So like, okay, kickoff, okay, fair enough, right? Kickoff games was definitely annoying. That is something to work on, but I adjusted well there to recognize once he was going for fakes to just start going for different plays. In this guy's case, this guy didn't really do a lot of stuff on kickoff per se. His kickoffs weren't really super strong, but his mechanics were super strong just because, you know, obviously. This was good here. This is a really, really small thing, but in ones can be really huge. So pay attention to the way my body language is for my car. This moment of separation, one of the things you do is, because I could see that he was getting ready to recover, slow him down and kind of like block him a little bit, you know, like kind of like check him to slow down to force him to lose his momentum, and then flip to the side so I don't hit the ball. And then it just creates free space for the ball to go to, and then the ball can just roll in the net. So it's a small detail, but just things you could work on to kind of be aware of how to improve that. That's a good fake. So let's watch it back from the opponent's perspective. So it's very slow, and then he covers for the shot. That's smart. If I was any closer, I would have actually been able to cover that. So in terms of positioning, like, I've been getting faked a lot today. It's just really frustrating. A lot of people have been going for fakes, and it's very difficult to read because, again, fakes are good like that. It's tricky because in that position, from my perspective, I can't really tell until it's too late. So like here, in terms of positioning, one of the things that's difficult is seeing how the name tag's moving. Like, that's such a minute movement that I wouldn't be able to read that in time, given my momentum. These are why fakes are really important, because they can be really effective in your gameplay. Here, just committing too much to the play, putting myself in a bad spot. Okay, so in terms of positioning here, one thing you want to be really careful about is kind of setting yourself here. This is good shadowing. This I don't mind, but this I do mind, is the turn. You want to kind of be facing a little bit more like this way, because if I'm facing this way, the ball's going to go to the right and it's not going to be savable. Whereas if I stay kind of in line with the ball, I can kind of push the ball out this way into this open space here. So it's just a small example of how positional awareness and setting yourself up for a good 50 can be better. That's a really key thing. That's good 50-50 there. Just, again, like I was mentioning earlier, my kickoffs did feel pretty decent about against this guy. He was obviously faking a bit, so I had to make an adjustment where I could. So like here, he was faking. Just throw a shot immediately on, put that pressure on him. Again, it's difficult to be super on top of it. It's a good adjustment here. Just being aware of where to position. One of the things you want to make sure you're doing is when you find your opponent's kind of like setting up a very kind of like tough angle, go around and then park it up here. Kind of park it up. You see how I parked it up right at front post? He can't shoot anymore. You have it completely covered. You grab that corner boost, and now you just have free ball. If I didn't cut this so hard, I actually could have had a free shot because the opponent had free recovery. He kind of gets himself set up awkward here. If I didn't do this too early, I would have been okay. What you want to do is you want to kind of put yourself in a good spot to get set up here. This is kind of poor because I did this too early. I could tell he was going to commit here, but I didn't have to flip. By flipping, it actually puts me in a really bad spot, and then I can't actually recover. Flipping is a very dangerous thing to do in situations where you need that recovery. It's just going to put you in bad spots, and you're not going to have time to adjust or like reposition. This is a bad decision. Going backwards here is a big mistake. You don't want to be doing that because of this exact reason. You get yourself kind of bumped and you get yourself scored on because of it. So it's just things like that you just want to be very, very careful about. Okay, so this kickoff was definitely one that I could improve. This right here, this flip on the left and this setup here, it's really, really dangerous to be jumping like this because my recovery time is way too slow. The first flip there on the left, this side flip here, is fine. but the way he sets up here, he's setting up for a wave dash so that he has his recovery. And then here, like, if I just did a quick little power slide cut here, that totally would have been fine. I would have actually had a good position to work with. And at this point here, I should have gotten scored on there just because I was in a really terrible spot. It's a good job doing the 50 there. At this point, game was kind of mostly lost at that point because there's really very little I could do. These are kind of situations where you can learn. Unfortunately, it's difficult when you start to get frustrated like I did today. It is frustrating. Ones is frustrating. Twos and threes, usually not as frustrating because, like, you just kind of play smart and play your own game and be aware of what your teammate and opponents want. And then you kind of just play from there. So, of course, you get shot there, but... So let's face it, guys. Ones is hard game mode. It is a game mode that's not easy to play. It's not super user-friendly, but it is one of the best game modes to play if you're trying to improve your game. If you found this to be a useful video, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Speed D-Man out.